The US government has been secretly collecting perfect climbing rocks for over 100 years. They just don't know it yet, which is why I'm here. This is the US Geological Survey's rock collection. It contains unique samples from across the country, and it's covered in first ascents. And to verify my findings, I brought in an expert.
My name is Scarlett. I have a PhD in geology, and we're here to assess the beta.
Okay.
These lines of boulders are scattered everywhere around the USGS, so obviously I had to get one in.
This is a quartz sandstone.
I tried to find some good feet while Scarlett examined the rock, and I managed to establish with my right foot on a small edge, throwing my left hand up with a heel hook to stabilize, and hucking myself up no problem. Sketchy feet, but solid holds. Honestly, a pretty typical micro boulder, a little boring if you ask me, but that's compared to a lot of the weirder stuff coming up. Next up was this little rocky outcropping, but what caught my attention was that this was actually a sample that had been cored, possibly by one of these big drilling rigs.
It's making a suspicious hissing sound.
And I was determined to fist jam the core hole, and that's a sentence that I immediately regret saying.
So this is a vesicular basalt while you're climbing, and it's vesicular in that the texture of the rock itself has a bunch of pockets in it. Whoa, nice.
Using the core hole is one thing, but climbing the core sample itself is a whole other beast. I wasn't able to hug it for the sit start, it just requires too much compression, so I started with my hands at the top.
These are Precambrian lavas, basalts from 1 to 1.6 billion years old.
Starting this way kind of felt a little cheap, and it wasn't the true sit start I'd envisioned, but how about a bat hang? Flipping over from the bat hang was definitely the crux, but the little ridges left behind from the spinning drill head gave me just enough traction to switch into a mantle. A super satisfying climb if you ignore all the spiders. I'm naming this one Prehistoric Mantle. That's a 2-for-1 geologist climber joke for you. I was really looking forward to this next one, a really distinctive, weird, shiny rock, but upon closer inspection, Scarlett gave her expert opinion.
We thought this was a rock. It's fake.
Seems to be some kind of metal casting, but I couldn't resist climbing it anyway. The last climb of the day was one that I'd been looking forward to the most, a group of monoliths at the USGS entrance.
So this is a columnar basalt. He is currently holding on to the edges of the prisms where, as the magma was cooling and contracting, formed into these columns and joints.
Although the rock was literally flaking off, I managed to stick the throw to the top, but then a slight obstruction.
Better finish that climb.
I hung there for what felt like forever, and then launched myself up for the mantle, capping off a first ascent of one of the most distinctive rock samples in the USGS collection, monolithic M3. Huge shout out to the US Geological Survey for maintaining one of the finest microboulding crags since the 19th century, and obviously a huge shout out to Scarlett for applying her expertise and her years of experience and training in the world of geology to advise on whatever it is that I do in my free time. Please do not climb rocks on federal property.